Don't buy a house right now. Home values are dropping. Hey everybody, David Kelman with eXp Realty here in San Diego. Today we're going to talk about whether or not you should be buying a house right now. We're seeing it all over the news right now that it is not a good time to buy a house because the market is crashing, home values are declining, but in reality, is that actually the truth? Is now actually a bad time to buy a house? I mean, if you're looking purely at interest rates, yeah, it's not a good time to buy a house because you're going to pay over double the interest rate than you did a year ago or even 7 or 8 months ago. However, you no longer need to pay over the asking price. You don't need to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over the asking price like you did in the old market. You no longer need to waive your inspection. You no longer need to waive your appraisal. You no longer need to give the seller 6 months free rent in their house while they go find another house. The reality is that this market, yes, it's completely different. Interest rates have gone up dramatically this year, which is impacting a lot of affordability. However, this market is not a bad market to be buying a house in. Remember the market 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, and you go in the house, it's listed on a Thursday, and offers are due Saturday night at 5 p.m. or Sunday or Monday. You don't have a lot of time to make, an informed decision about this house, this location necessarily. It's kind of just, we got to see it, we got to write an offer, strong offer, waive all contingencies, doesn't matter about the appraisal, we just need to get this house. And so a lot of buyers from that market have ended up regretting the house they ended up choosing, or since they waived the inspection, they have issues with the house now. And so this market has completely changed because of interest rates. And so now, a house is listed on a Thursday. You might have, 30 days to go look at the house sometimes. And so the market has completely changed, allowing buyers to have some choices, some time to think about it. Also, this market has allowed for seller concessions to come back. Now, a concession is when the seller will credit the buyer some form of money towards either closing costs or rate buy down or something to that effect to incentivize them to buy the house. So essentially, as a buyer in this market, your cash to close is reduced because of seller concessions. So it might cost you less money out of pocket to buy in this market rather than the old market. So there are tons of benefits to buying in this market. I will say though, affordability is the issue for many people right now. So I do not want to downplay the affordability issue. If you cannot afford a house at a 7% interest rate or a 7.5% interest rate, you either need to continue your search for a smaller property, maybe a little bit further out. But if you're waiting for interest rates to drop, they probably are going to drop. That's just the reality of what's probably going to happen as inflation comes down. My opinion is that interest rates are going to come back down as well. Now, when that does happen, everyone who's been on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to come back down is going to re-enter the market. And since we don't have a ton of inventory, home prices are going to continue to go up at that point because it's all supply and demand. So if you're waiting for prices or if you're waiting for interest rates to come back down, the reality is that a lot of people are doing the same thing. And when a lot of people are going to flood the market, prices are going to go up. So if I was a buyer right now on the fence, thinking about buying, not buying, waiting, if you can afford the payment, you're considering, being in this house for the next 5, 10 years, you have the down payment, you're stable in your job, I would buy the house. I would get a seller concession to buy down my interest rate, whether that's for the first 2 or 3 years or for the life of the loan. I would have my inspection. I would be choosy. I would probably have some fun with negotiations right now because the sellers who are on the market right now, for the most part, need to sell. It's the holiday season coming up, and with this the inflation the way it is and interest rates the way they are, those sellers need to sell. No one typically on the market right now is just testing the market. So you can most likely get a good deal. And so, you don't have a lot of competition. You can have an inspection. You can think about it. You've got some desperate sellers. It's a really good time to buy if you're ready. So that is my 2 cents on the market right now. If you're reading the headlines, just remember their job is to sell fear, because fear keeps you coming back and reading the headlines. Of course, you're going to say, well, your job as an agent is to sell houses. So of course, you're going to say right now is a good time to buy. No, I'm just stating the facts of the market right now. The facts of the market, 6 to 9 months ago, nobody had an issue with paying $150,000 over asking price with no, inspection, no appraisal, free 6-month rent back for the seller. No one had a problem with that. But now that interest rates are higher, people think it's not a good time to buy. And that's just not the reality for a lot of people. And so think critically, think about, is this something you want to do right now? There's a lot of perks to buying a house in this market when no one else is wanting to buy a house. So if you're thinking of relocating to San Diego, curious about the market here, feel free. I have all my contact information below. Feel free to reach out, and you can text me any questions you have or shoot me an email. So that's my 2 cents on the market. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video.